Hi, Rob.
Hi, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm good. Glad I did my homework and tested this out because I messed it up. So
It looked good when I got on there. It was a little confusing. I'm like, what is this?
all right. So I'll keep that tucked over there. I lost you. There we go. So getting ready for a little snow?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. I don't know, 4 to 8 or something. In my world, it's no different. You know what I mean? Than 1 to 3. So when you get up and they start talking about feet, that gets a little bit more challenging for us. But the good part is the timing here. So, you know, a lot of it'll be overnight here. So we'll get up and get everything done early as much as we can. So, unless it snows real hard overnight. But
Yeah, I think my understanding is the worst for you is if it happens like at midday and everybody's out on the roads and then they.
yeah, that or a weekend during the day, or even if it starts like at 3 o'clock in the morning and goes heavy right through 8, 9 o'clock, you know, that's tough. So it takes us 3.5, 4 hours to get around one time. So, you know, but everybody gets up. Even tomorrow morning, people complain because I haven't seen a snowball. We've already been out and around, but it just kind of, we'll just keep going around and get it cleaned up. So good part's supposed to pull out fairly early.
Well, really, this is pretty late for a
Yeah.
plowing, right?
Yeah, we're way down on snow this year, I think. I don't know what the total is, but I think last week or something, they said we're about 20 inches shy of our normal. But now, hopefully we don't make it all up at one time. That's all
Yeah, right. You know, it's amazing how close to average over, over decades we are in snow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, it
start
does
looking
make itself
back.
up.
Yeah, you start looking back and it is weird. And I keep track, you know what I mean? For at least since I've been highways for time, I've kind of kept track of each year what we got for totals. And it does average out about 120 inches, between 100 and 122. What we average every year. So some years 150, some years 112, you know, so just.
So my father kept a calendar of, he lived in Cazenovia and he kept a date that the ice froze and that the ice left.
Sure.
So we have like 20 years of the dates of the lake freezing, and it varied like by a couple of weeks. It was surprising
Really?
how much it varied. Yeah.
I'm surprised.
But you think like a year like this, it has only been cold. Like today was the first day that was really cold.
Yeah, it's true. Hi, Tim.
How's everyone?
Good, bud.
How come you're not in your truck?
Oh, I got off the road actually, so figured I better come in and do this meeting.
So who gets the route that does North Eagle Village Road, Rob?
That's Johnny Barnwell, him and
All right,
Tom.
well, have him check out our brand new barn.
The brand new barn? Where'd you guys put something up there?
We put something up there and it's really nice.
Really? Where?
It's the second house in from the Latter Day Saints Church, the new church across from Pride Lane.
Okay, all right.
But you can't miss it without the leaves. You can definitely see it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Where they're going to put that solar farm?
It's the other side of the church from the solar farm.
On the other side of the church.
The other side. Yep.
I see. Huh. And is that your house?
Nope, it's our barn now. We're very, very happy with it.
Oh, cool.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
We put the door on today, so it was just finished.
All enclosed, huh?
Just in time for the snow.
Oh, perfect.
What door is that, Sarah?
We built a storage barn up on our land on North Eagle Village Road.
Oh, nice.
So, well, we didn't, I mean, we had it built. We showed up and took pictures.
Just in time to keep all the reindeer.
Yes.
There you go.
What's that? Are you on?
Yeah.
I think I got to start getting my skin stuff out again. I ran this morning in 14-degree.
Yeah, they are at. Rob, so what are we doing tonight?
Oh, we'll plow snow about 2 o'clock in the morning.
You
And
think
we'll
it too?
Yeah. I've already got my night guy start here at about 8 o'clock. He'll be in and start hitting all that.
Looks like it's going more south, right?
Yeah, the heaviest stuff's supposed to stay in the south, they're saying, so. It depends on who you want to listen to for totals. I mean, locally, they're saying like 4 to 8, and the Weather Channel says 3 to 5, and it all depends on who you want to listen to, so.
Well, I'm gonna try to venture to Cooperstown tomorrow.
Oh boy, go a little bit later in the morning, I think. They're saying it's supposed to be all done and over with here at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
So it'll probably be a little bit, obviously a little longer to the east, but they got, they're expected about a foot of snow down there, a little bit better. so.
right. I'm watching it.
The throughway
Can I
up,
borrow one of those plow trucks?
Sure, well, I'll take you down.
All right. Would
We'll
love
be-
it.
We'll be able to get there, I'm sure.
well, they always take care of the throughway, but once you turn off to go toward Cooperstown, those are some windy roads.
Yeah, right along the lakes there.
How are you, Tim?
I'm good, Karen. How are you?
Good.
So Rob, it looks like we're starting to see some stuff out there.
Yeah. I say we'll know more tomorrow, right? Talk to a bunch of
I
highway
already had
superintendents.
people asking if I was gonna close the building tomorrow. I looked outside, I go, no, I don't know why, it looks pretty good out there.
Yeah, people get a little nervous, especially the first couple of heavy snows, once they get the couple of 4 inches at a time, then everybody kind of, we're used to this, so.
Well, this is the first one and it's a big one. So
Yeah.
this is when the boys get excited.
Yeah, they've been chomping at the bit here to get stuff going. So of course, it never fails. You got 2 trucks broke this morning, and hopefully we get everything up and going this afternoon, but we had a couple of issues from yesterday. Because we haven't been out a lot, so when we do go, you find the things that break,
Yep. John?
Everybody all done with their Christmas shopping?
Yep.
I didn't know you were a comedian, Rob.
My wife is about had enough of Christmas. She loves Christmas, but her job with the post office and the packages, I think she's about had enough of it, so.
Well, I stopped back to the house real quick this afternoon, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And Bridget says, oh my, what are you doing here? And I looked at, you got boxes all over the place, wrapping paper. I go, I'm not looking at anything,
Yeah.
I wasn't there long.
I'm one of those procrastinators myself, so I'll be out there at the last minute trying to get stuff delivered,
I'll do my normal daughter, father shopping this weekend or next week.
Yeah, that's why I already gave my daughter my credit card and said, here, get me these things for me,
That's me this
so.
week. Yeah. Next week it'll be too late.
It's easier to knit hats and mittens, Rob.
I think you're right, Karen. Actually, my father-in-law used to say, give money to everyone. It was always the right color and nobody ever returned it, so.
That's right.
That's good.
And socks.
Yeah,
There's nothing like homemade socks.
there you go.
I'm lucky. I don't have to do anything. My wife does all the shopping.
A lot of boxes on our front porch this year. A lot of Amazon boxes.
Oh, I feel so sorry for the delivery people. Oh my goodness. The amount of hours they are out there and walking to and from the road to the driveways and
At least the weather hasn't been bad, Karen. That's one good thing. Caitlin?
Hello.
it's not easy for them.
How is everybody?
We're here. Holding our breath for this winter storm we were just talking about.
Yeah, I almost never drive anywhere anymore. But yesterday I had to bring my cat to the groomer and my car wouldn't start.
Oh boy.
Of course. And then I got in the car today and my heat's not working. And I'm like, I never driving anywhere again. Such a unnecessary hassle.
So much for the grooming, or did you?
Well, we did end up going,
Yeah.
and then I brought her home, and I have 2 cats and a dog, and my other cat now has disowned the first cat. Like she thinks she's like an imposter. And so she like, it's been very disconcerting. So that's what's going on in my house.
All right, well, there's Chief. Good. Minute to go. I think we have everyone, right? Who's going to be here? Looking good.
All right. I'll start the process.
Sounds good. It's like the man behind the curtain, you know, all of a sudden she disappears and then appears.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Did you give us a thumbs up, Allison? Oh, okay. So I took my eye off the ball for a minute.
We're almost there. We are live. Facebook had some new requirements that it wanted from me. So
Welcome, everyone. Yeah, do that, I forgot. Welcome to our last virtual Zoom board meeting for the town of Manlius in the year 2020. So why don't we get started with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the
To
flag
the flag of the United
United
States of
States of
America
America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And let's begin with our introductions. I will start, introduce myself, Ed Theobald, Town of Manlius Supervisor.
Sarah Bollinger, Town Councilor.
John Deere, Town Councilor.
Elaine Denton, Town Councilor.
Karen Green, Deputy Supervisor.
Caitlin Creaslow, Town Councilor.
Heather Waters, Town Councilor.
Thank you, Board. And also with us, other town officials with us tonight, Randy Capriati, our Code Enforcement Officer. Chief Police Chief Mike Kroll. Highway Superintendent Rob Cushing. Town Attorney Tim Ferteski. Town Engineer Doug Miller. Town Manager Ann Oot. And of course, our Town Clerk Allison Weber. Thank you, everyone. And let's move right along now with we have the approval of the minutes of December 2nd. I have a motion.
Mr. Supervisor, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for December 2nd, 2020.
I'll second, Sarah.
Any discussion? Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Item, that was the minutes. Yeah. Item 4 is the abstract, number 24.
Mr. Supervisor, I'd like to make a motion to approve abstract number 24 in the amount of $316,137.23. Some of the sort of more than average expense had to do with the approved purchase of some patrol cars for the police department.
Very good. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. All right, next on the agenda, right around the corner, is our January or 2021 organizational meeting. So we need to set a date for that meeting in January, which I believe is the first Wednesday of the month, January 6th. Are we right on that, Allison? Okay, so I'll need a motion for that.
Supervisor, this is Karen, I'll make a motion to set the 2021 organizational meeting for Wednesday, January 6th at 6:30.
And I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Very good. Next, item number 6 is the comprehensive plan, the selection of a consultant. I yield to either Heather or Sarah. You being the point people on this process that we did, would you like to give us a little summary on our interviews and so on?
Sure. Maybe I could speak a little bit to sort of the process that we undertook, but then maybe ask Sarah to summarize the report that she did on our selection process once people applied. So as we know, we created at the beginning of this year a comprehensive plan committee, and we were endeavoring to do something that was at its baseline a land use planning exercise, but perhaps also help us to understand and articulate where we wanted to go from a development perspective as well, and an economic development perspective, and a sort of quality of life perspective. So that was really useful because we quickly learned that there are differences between basic land use planning, of course, and being comprehensive in that manner, and being more strategic. And one of the things that we did was endeavor to engage people to raise their hand in support of areas of interest and perhaps expertise that they'd like to bring to the table. So we, in the first few months, we were able to talk about comprehensive planning, which takes a couple of years to accomplish and then should be used for maybe up to 10 years or so, with the possibility of updates to the plan and reviews and evaluations of where you are in the process. We garnered interest from over 70 individuals. And when COVID hit and the state halted its consolidated funding application for comprehensive plan grant making, we sought out through the budget process to make sure that we were going to be prioritizing comprehensive planning and providing an opportunity to partner with a firm that has expertise in this and can help us project manage the endeavor. That means also that we're getting closer to understanding what kind of strategic group we need to push things forward. So in preparing a request for proposal, we went ahead and created that document, which Sarah can speak to. We also started talking with the people who were involved and raised their hands in support of comprehensive planning across the community, residents, and those who work here in the community, and decided that we needed to sort of literally get on the same page. So we created 3 listening sessions, and we will complete the 3rd in the new year. Our natural environment, our economy, and in 2021, early 2021, our history. So using the information that we have, and also I'm very, very honored to tell you that Barbara Rivette provided a whole history of comprehensive planning conversation that's happened in the town to me. So we're lucky to have, the keeper of history who will be joining us in early January. But we've never actually completed one of these plans before. And they're seen now as an important guide for a community. And they also are popular, as Sarah can share with us, in working with towns, complex governance structures within it, like having, of course, autonomous villages, like we do. And so why don't I ask Sarah now to tell us a little bit about what we did when we interviewed our finalist comprehensive plan project companies. And also we'll let you know that we've shared the description of the comprehensive planning request for proposal to the group of 70 folks before we solicited those proposals.
Thank you, Heather. And we've got valuable input from those 70 people on the request for letters of interest. So we had a process where we released letters of interest. We had 5 firms respond. We did a ranking system to try to decide, who met our needs the best. Settled on 3 firms to invite for an interview. We recorded those interviews, so all counselors were able to see all interviews. And then we sort of looked at what was the stronger of the 3 candidates, all 5 of which could have done it and were good. So I don't want to imply anything other than that. And so we have come to a selection that we will be voting on in a minute. I do also want to share that all the firms we dealt with were super interested, and that we learned from all of them what we need to be looking out for in the next year. And so this was a very valuable process for us. And I hope that that those who did interview, whether they were selected or not, had a good experience with their time with us. So thank you. So I guess I will make a motion if nobody else has anything that they want to say about this before we move on.
Can I add one thing, Sarah?
Sure.
So we did one thing that I thought was really important, and that was that we had the video interviews with the final candidates towards the end of last week, and I found that extremely helpful. And as you mentioned, they were recorded for everyone to be able to see. And that's something that I want to replicate in the future. It really helped us to get a very well-rounded impression of everyone. And I think that for me, that was the most helpful. So I'd like to, for those of you that participated in those meetings as well, or had the chance to watch the videos, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that as well. But for me, that was the most important deciding factor in the ultimate decision. That was all I had.
I do want to reference that to say that we also checked references for the firms and did our due diligence on that. So I would like to make a motion to select a firm to now move into contracting with legal review. So we're not contracting tonight, we're just selecting the firm tonight. And the firm I would like to recommend is Barton Lund LaJudas.
Very good. Do I have a second? All right,
I'd like to second that, please.
Okay, any discussion? I have a quick discussion. I will not be able to vote on this. I'll be recusing myself because of a family member that actually works for this firm. But regardless of that, if I could vote, they were one of the strongest I felt in the interviewing process. But I just want to make that clear to everyone why I won't be able to vote on this. So with that, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Of course, that's based on the proposal that we received, which
Yes.
says the
Yeah.
the amounts that they're charging, so which will all be part of the contract.
Right. Yeah, I just want to wrap one thing up because, this was, prior to these meeting interviews with the engineering candidates. And I know that I've talked to a few of you. I had some questions about the comprehensive planning in general. Like what's the end game relationship with our planning board and zoning boards and others. I felt that when we established the planning process committee a couple of years ago, that would help, of course, reshape our commercial zoning, for example, which it did. In fact, it's still an important process which we use right now. But now after all these interviews, I've learned that there's much more than just those items, which will be addressed. So in summary, at my end, as a financial advisor by trade and as the CFO for the town, I want to make certain that the money that we spend on this project, comprehensive planning, it's an investment for the town's future, which hopefully gives us solid direction with this endeavor. And hopefully by implementing this plan, that's when we find out how good this comprehensive plan is. And as Heather mentioned, we're looking at not 3 years, but a shorter term, which will certainly help in the financial cost of this program. So I just felt that it was important to share that for those who really even still aren't sure. Unless you've been in those interviews, you'll learn a lot. So it was good that we were able to record them. That was very important on the board's behalf. And I agree with you, Caitlin. We've done some other interviews in other areas that really work well with the Zoom process. So and that was all I wanted to add. So with that, we will move on to the town historian's report, which I know you all have received that. I'll tell you, Barbara's insight, I just been read this from her historian perspective, describing 2020 just, hits the nail on the head. I tell you, that was a great summary. I, of course, encourage all of you, if you haven't, to read it. And Allison, this will be added to our website for everyone's, so that everyone can partake in reading this. So I think do we have to accept this then, the report? Do we usually vote on accepting the report, Tim? Yeah. All right, unless anyone else had anything else they wanted to add, but it's well written as usual. Barbara does this so well. Yes,
I
Jeff.
will say, yeah, it definitely offers an interesting perspective on what the last year has been like.
Yeah.
I think narratively, it's a really enjoyable read. It's pretty short, so everybody can read it. But we'll have to make sure too we get it up on Facebook and social media so that everybody can see it, because it really does encapsulate the feelings and emotions I think we've all shared over the last year.
Yeah. Facebook too, of course. So with that, we'll need a motion to accept the historian's report.
Before we do that, let me just suggest that maybe what we can do is when Barbara is back in town hall and we're doing our history session for comprehensive planning, we could ask her to read and we could record her report for 2020 so that we have it in that format as well.
Sure.
I think it would be wonderful to start doing that, because when you have, one of the benefits of getting to serve now is to get to spend more time with Barbara naturally through her work, and she's an incredible resource for all of us. So we should share her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd be happy to make a motion to accept the historian's report as submitted.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. And we move on to item 8, which is the CNY's SPCA dog control and cruelty contracts. I think we've all seen the resolution that Tim's put together. Tim, do you want to just review that real quick overview, and then if there's any questions the board has before we vote on it?
As you know, the agriculture and market law requires us to have certain types of animal control, both for cruelty and for dogs running at large and dangerous dogs. We contract with the SPCA to provide those services for us. Article 7 is the dogs running at large. They're going to charge us $27,087, I believe. And for the cruelty to animals, which is in Article 26 of the ag and market laws, it's $5,826.60. Those numbers have been put into the resolution, and the resolution just authorizes the supervisor to sign those two contracts.
Any other questions for Tim or discussion on the resolution? Okay, if not, then I'll ask for a motion.
Those costs, Tim, are pretty much the same as they were, right? They haven't.
Allison knows better than me, but I see her head shaking
Yeah.
up and down.
Yeah,
So
that's what I thought. Just wanted to let everyone know. Thanks. Good.
if somebody can make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Mr. Supervisor, I'll be happy to make a resolution authorizing you to sign an agreement with the Onondaga County SPCA for the enforcement of services under both Article
7.
and Article 7.
Okay. And do I have a second?
I'll second.
I was gonna say, Elaine, you go. I still want you to do it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed and carried. Very good. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
And we move on. Oh, okay. We're moving on to the highway superintendent who's getting geared up. Rob?
We're getting geared up for sure, Ed. Anyway, guy, I just wanted to let the board know, I hope everyone got the listed of the auction items that we're actually going to be putting up. Their auctions actually are working a little bit differently right now. The closest or soonest I could get this stuff up was on the 22nd of December, and it's going to be the ending date of the 6th of January. So it'll actually work out really good because we'll have the numbers just before our next board meeting.
Good.
So I'll have those numbers to present to you. And, certainly I'll make my recommendations whether we should accept those or not. And if anyone else, hopefully if I get them done that Tuesday, I'll email them to everyone so they have an idea where our numbers are. And then I'll give you an idea whether we should accept or not. Again, just reminding everyone that we have the right to, not accept the bids, and then we can rebid or put it out for auction at a later date too. So other than that, I just want to make sure I wished everyone a happy holiday season. I don't know if I'll see everyone between now and then, but stay safe out there and drive careful.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Randy, do you have anything for us this evening?
I'm trying to unmute myself here. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The bank did get their certificate of occupancy at Town Center, so they are up and running.
Oh,
There was one last article was the final survey. We got that today. They are up and running and all set. We're starting to wind down a little bit. We issued 4 certificate of occupancies for homes this week alone. We're up 6 from last year with a couple of weeks to go. So there is still progress with buildings within the town. A lot of construction still going on.
good.
Mike and Dave's moved on to different things because people are very, very hesitant now with the COVID cases going up. They're very leery of Dave going into their establishments. So what we've done is change Dave to the vacant structures that he has to do anyways. So he's doing them now when he's not able to do the other part. So he's still going strong. But other than that, things are looking good.
Very good. Thank you. Doug, anything you need to add?
There we go. We completed the contract documents for the Langmuir work for stormwater and road improvements. So we got those over to Rob. We'll get with Rob and we'll coordinate those activities. we should within the week or so have submitted to Army Corps and DEC the joint application work that we've talked about for Bishop's Brook in the Falcon View area for doing that dredging activity behind Turnstone Drive. So we're moving forward on that. We also have got the Saber Lane dredging type work together. We'll plan to combine that and a contracted document potentially with the decoy run area that we talked about. So we try to coordinate those activities into different stormwater districts. So we're moving forward on those, and Rob, as soon as we get those, we'll the Saber Lane and the decoy run, we'll get those over to you so that we can try to get some bidding documents out here second quarter of the year so that we can hit the ground running. We did have a good meeting yesterday with Caitlin. Caitlin, I did follow up with Amanda, and we are working on inventorying many of the things that the community has done over the last decade to try to coordinate that into the climate smart community requirements. So what we talked about with Amanda is taking those 10 required activities that garner us points, try to get those into a spreadsheet and find out where the low-lying fruit is and try to put everything on the table that we've done. Because over the past decade, there are a tremendous amount of activities that we've done that we really, past activities haven't been documented to pursue the client smart community. So, from education to renewable energy to transportation activities, there may be a lot of things in there that may surprise people that we're doing. In fact, yesterday, one of the things I told Amanda is, what the Miller Engineers does in the 5-county area. The town of Manlius by far has the largest amount of renewable energy projects in the queue. Right now, we have probably close to 14 megawatts of community solar that we have approved as shovel ready throughout the community. And that's something that we should be proud of. And that's something that we should take credit for and get that out onto our website that, we're proactive and we mean business when, we're going after renewables, recycling, transportation issues, education, and just overall sustainability for our community. So we'll be following up with Amanda in the next week or so to try to get that table together. And I think there'll be a lot of things in there. What we talked about, some of them may be small things like, a few years ago, we put a new roof on the highway garage and we upped the energy requirements for the highway garage. We increased the insulation. That's a little thing that we do. There's a recycling program at the highway department. There's one at the town hall. Those are little things that, we hope will get us up and over the edge when we put that information together. So, we'll keep you abreast of that in the next few weeks and take it from there. So.
Very good. Excellent updates, Doug. Thank you. Attorney Fredesky, what do you have for us tonight, Tim?
I really don't have much, but we will have to go into executive session to discuss a litigation matter. Hopefully it will not be very long, but I would like to discuss an ongoing litigation matter. Also, so for the information of the board, and the courts are, jump in here if you know more than me, but the courts are essentially not functioning live. Everything is virtual, so we don't have people coming in to town hall for court, and I'm told it's going to be that way until at least the end of January, more likely to the middle of February. So so there will not be court held at town hall. They're going to try to do as much as they can virtually.
Is that right, Ann? Confirmed. Okay, thank you. All right. Allison, what do you have for us tonight? Was that no?
All set.
Nothing.
All set.
Okay. Very good.
Like every other meeting, we should make Allison tell us something she's done. Just like, water the plants in your office. Just one little update. I just love to know what you're doing all day, Allison.
I'd be happy to give an update on Allison's behalf. She's held the entire town hall together and kept everyone up to speed on everything. That's at least how it feels when I come for a visit.
I'm
Yeah.
always like, I did this one little thing and I'm going to talk about it for half an hour. And Allison's like done a bajillion things. And it's like, no, I'm good. I have no updates.
And I think Chris is watering all the plants up there.
All right. So Allison, don't worry about the plant update. We'll get that from Chris later on.
He asked me if I was watering mine. He goes, it's all, I am not touching it. I'm not touching it. So, all right, very good. Thank you. Chief, what do you have for us tonight?
Just a couple items. Our newly promoted sergeant's doing a great job. Sergeant Mike DeSalvatore got through his field training process and he's out there leading the troops. The new special patrol officer for the FM school district signed a offer of employment, and we're real excited about him starting. Again, he was going to go through somewhat of a field training program, but effectively January 4th he'll start. And after his training, he'll jump right into the school district and doing what SPOs do. We interviewed at least one possible transfer candidate for one of our 4 openings for police officer positions, and the interview went well. We're going to proceed with our selection process, and that's going to take a little bit, but hopefully this person will come through that process without a problem. And continue to work with the district attorney's office on the countywide law enforcement reform process, which is consistent with the Governor's Executive Order 203, and we made great strides. Had a meeting last week. Hopefully we're going to put together all the information we've collected in our subcommittees and publish that on a website that's going to be out soon, and it'll be publicized. But a lot of what we're doing is very much consistent with what Councilor Denton is doing with the Police Advisory Committee, just basically letting our community know what we do as a police department, because much of Executive Order 203 talks about things that we've been doing in this community for quite a while. So excited about seeing that information come about. That's all I have.
So Chief, will that be on the police website, our town of Manlius police website that you're saying, or you said you're going to put a report together on that?
No, the website is actually going to be published through the county district attorney's office.
Okay, good.
But we can certainly link that to our website
Yeah.
so that anybody can click on there.
That would be helpful. Good. Thank you. All right. Ann, what do you have for us, town manager?
I'm all set.
Okay, very good. Town board, I think I'll go counterclockwise tonight if you're okay with that.
It's the same story as with Allison, with Ann over there.
And John will say everything about Ann as he just did, or Allison. So, thank you. Karen, let's start with you tonight.
I'll be happy to. I just want to thank everyone, residents, organizations, businesses that supported the Festival of Trees this year for the Manlius Historical Society. We weren't even sure that it was going to take place, but it did, and it was very successful. So thank you to everyone that participated, and it did go throughout the whole community. We're looking forward to doing it again next year. And just before this meeting, we did have the police committee meeting, and the chief gave everyone an update just as he did here tonight. And we also had the villages of Fayetteville, Manlius, and Manoa represented. So other than that, it's been an exciting year, and I just want to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and much safety to all of you in 2021.
Thank you, Karen. Sarah?
Hi, I would like to make a little report about the planning process committee.
Yep.
That we have accomplished a few things, and I want to show off one of them that I did not do, but which Randy, I want to give him credit for this extremely cool thing that hopefully you can see. So we have an interactive zoning map.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And I just want to let people know you can go by district. So you can say, I'd like to find out where the commercial districts are. And then these yellow squares, those are the commercial districts. You can also go to land use to say, I'd like to, there's the, sorry, I would like to go to land use. And I'd like to start a food and beverage business. And it tells me where I can do that.
Oh, nice.
And, you know, you can just look at the map overall to get a feel for what the main zones in the area are. The purple is the state. So whenever you see a map of Manlius, the Green Lakes just pops out because it's so many acres. But
Yeah.
all of this light blue is the restricted agriculture, which is the majority of what our zoning are. And you can also go to your own property and put the address in and look up whatever goes for you. So I just think that it's important for residents to know that this is now available to them. And it also tells you a little bit about the zone. So if you go back to this commercial A, you can click this and it says, this is what commercial A is and what it means. And this is how far you have to be, your front depth and your rear depth and this kind of thing. So it's all right here. So I just want to give some credit to the Planning and Development Department for working on that. I think very hard. I believe Councilor Deere helped with that and Town Clerk Weber, but I just think that was an example of the kind of progress that the Planning Process Committee is hoping to work on. As you know, we did do the zoning, we did the sign ordinance last year. We've been doing some auditing, and then we've got a couple other ordinances that are still in the works. So I just want to thank everybody a lot of people have volunteered on that over time, and I want to thank all of them. And wish everybody happy holidays and a safe new year before we meet for our organizational meeting.
Thank you, Sarah. Caitlin, you're up.
So I want to just mention that sometimes you should start in the middle because I never get to go first.
Oh, that'll just confuse me going back.
Alphabetical
Next time.
happens. I'm always right in the middle.
Around.
But it's all right. I'm whatever order we go in, I always take my 10 minutes. So in adding on to some of what Doug mentioned earlier, we had a great meeting. Was that only yesterday? Week already feels so long, but it was myself, Doug and Ann, Elaine, and Amanda Mazzoni from the Central New York Planning Board, and Ryan Dunn, the Community Chair of Sustainable Manlius. And it was really productive, probably meeting, you know, oh, and Allison was there also. Now I forgot Allison. But we had to, as Doug mentioned, we had to really dive into the history of the town. What has the town done that we can get credit for with the climate smart communities? And Doug did a great job running through that list. And I'm glad, Doug, to hear that you've been connecting with Amanda on that. The more points that we can get for stuff we've already done, the less new stuff we have to do to get the credit. And I'll add that some of the work that we're doing, it's getting us credit for clean energy communities also. And climate smart communities is through the DEC, and it's a much more broad program. Clean energy communities is through NYSERDA, and you have to do 4 actions out of 10, and then you qualify for a grant. And the village of Manoa was the first in the first round of clean energy communities, and they got $100,000 to do sustainability improvements to their water treatment plant, their wastewater treatment plant. And Fayetteville was a little bit later, they got $50,000, and then the village of Manlius a little bit after that got $5,000. So it's the quicker you go with the clean energy communities program, the more money you can get. And while I don't know any of the details, no matter how much I politely asked to get some information, I do know that after the new year, clean energy communities, the grant funding is coming back. So we are already ready to submit for a grant at the time when they release that information through the work that Sustainable Manlius has done. And in working to become a climate smart community, we're now ready to go after that money as soon as it becomes available after the first of the year. And the money if it's more than $5,000, you have to have a program that you're applying for. If it's 5,000 or under, they'll just give you the money and you can, I'm sure there are some parameters, but there's less upfront requirements in terms of the application. So we're working with one of the members of our community that came and presented to the board earlier this year, Ingrid Gonzalez McCurdy. Did I say her last name right? McCurdy? Close enough. And she's a passionate and knowledgeable person on electric vehicles. So if we are able to get that grant, and it's going to look different, and I'm not sure exactly how, but it's going to look different. We could buy charging stations and electric vehicles for the town. So and not just us, but for the community to use. And we could locate the charging stations all around the town. So we have one in Manoa, one in Manlius, one outside town hall. So I think it's really coming together. It's really exciting to know that we might be able to move forward even more and sooner rather than later with some of the projects that I'm personally passionate about and that will be really great for our community. So thank you, Anne and Doug, for helping out with that yesterday. It was invaluable, and I'm looking forward to partnering with you more and learning more about what the town has done and what we can get credit for. The Sustainable Manlius Committee will meet again on the 7th of January, and that is an open meeting. So if you know of anyone that's interested in the community in environmental sustainability, particularly students, we're really trying to get young people involved since it's their planet and they'll inherit it from us. We want them to have a voice and a seat at the table in talking about the solutions to the climate crisis. And in speaking about solutions to the climate crisis, I wanted to not announce, because it's already been announced, but mention during the meeting tonight that something I've been working on for years and that I've been able to move forward as a member of the town board is the divestment of the New York State pension of fossil fuel companies. So we were able to, elected officials to Protect New York as an organization that I'm involved with. And through that organization, as well as Divest New York, we've been working with the comptroller for years on this issue. And last week, he did in fact commit to divesting the pension from fossil fuel companies, which is not only a huge win for the climate and for the climate crisis and mitigating that, but also for taxpayers. And being on the finance committee this year, I learned a lot about how we fund the New York State pension, and a number of you sitting in front of me are participants in that pension. This will help the pension to not only be more environmentally sustainable, but also financially sustainable. And it will help taxpayers in the community. It will reduce the burden on them from having to make up for the underperformance of that sector of the economy. So it was a wonderful announcement. Comptroller Tom DiNapoli is a climate leader, and we were just so thrilled to have that finally happen. It's been a long time coming. So lots of good climate related news from me tonight. But that's all I have. Just happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year. I miss seeing your smiling faces in real life, but hopefully after 2021 gets going, we'll be able to be together again really, really soon.
Thank you, Caitlin. Very good. Elaine, what do you have for us tonight?
Thanks. Hi. So I was just going to give a little update about the Public Safety Advisory Committee. We did collect questions and comments from the community, and some of these questions were answered by our police department and the presentation that we held on October 22nd. And you can see that presentation on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page. For the additional questions we received that were not answered there, we've created the following document that looks like this. You can't really see it there, but it's on our website. So if you go on our website to the townofmanlius.org, under the Public Safety Advisory Committee, you'll find the PDF to see this document. And it just answers a lot, some of the questions that really needed some visuals to go with those answers. And also references some different documents, and the links work. So you can get to the videos if we recommend watching a video, or an annual report, you can get to those. Hopefully easy enough. Our form is still active on the Public Safety Advisory page. So if you do have more questions or comments or ideas, please still fill that out. We are checking it to make sure we collect your questions. And we're hoping to meet in January and hopefully finalize the plan that we are working on, a draft plan. And we'll be presenting that next year, 2021. The other update I wanted to give was we met with the Onondaga County DOT and we heard from residents about the project that they plan to replace the whetstone bridge on that road, on my road. And so we heard from residents making that they wanted to make sure that pedestrians have a little bit more room. So we just talked to the county. They did say that due to design standards, that bridge will be improved and there will be the same 11 feet lanes, but 3 feet shoulders on that bridge. And happy holidays, and I hope everyone has a really great new year. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Elaine.
Just a clarifying question for Elaine.
Go ahead.
I was just quickly on the Town of Manlius website. Can you tell us the pathway to get to the police advisory committee information you referenced again?
Yeah. So if you just go to the Town of Manlius website, go to government, and then under boards and commissions, the Public Safety Advisory Committee page is right there.
Okay.
And then in that section, I have a link to the presentation from the police. I have the form and I have that PDF as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Now on to you, John.
Yeah, so I'll just give a quick update on where we're at with the noise ordinance. Ed and I met with the 3 mayors. It was a pretty great meeting. It seems like everyone's on board. You know, we're going to be working through some minor changes. Fayetteville has already had scheduled a public hearing. So we're feeling pretty good about it. It looks like we're going to be able to pass a pretty cohesive set of noise ordinances. And, luckily that'll make it so that our officers don't have to carry a little book with each of the noise ordinances in it. But yeah, other than that, I hope everybody has a very happy and healthy new year. And that's all from me.
And also just to mention, the chief was there with us, which was, he put a lot of things in perspective, which I think helped with the mayors too, so thank you, John. Heather.
Hi. Well, other than the comprehensive planning info we spoke about earlier, I will just mention that the Tree Commission did not meet this week, but we will meet before the new year and before our organizational meeting. And we are going to be discussing, as I understand it, the climate smart community actions that the Tree Commission can take and review them to see what we might be able to participate in the coming year. An example of a project that gives us points towards the climate smart community actions would be an inventory of our trees, for example, which is useful to us in lots of different ways. We also get credit for being a Tree City USA recognized community and things like that. So there are things we're doing, like Doug was saying earlier too, that are low-hanging fruit that we just have to sort of categorize and understand how it fits into the larger picture and not leave anything on the table that's there for counting. But at the same time, it will help us coordinate. And I think it's another thing we talked about with the finalists for comprehensive planning. How would our goals to achieve, how would achieving these goals for climate smart communities, how could it be woven into and made a part of the comprehensive planning effort? So we wanted to make sure we had a partner who could really help us navigate something like that as well. And so, yeah, that's all I have for now, except to say that I am just so appreciative of the way that our local businesses have kept us all very safe, and the people that have enforced sort of the safe and healthy protocols from sanitizing and mask wearing. I want to thank everybody for that. I know it hasn't been easy for them, and so don't forget to order takeout where you can, and sort of definitely still be out in the community in safe ways that you can be. Thank you to teachers who are rounding the corner before a break, and all the people that work with students. And thank you to all of our healthcare workers. You must be exhausted too. And I hope we can come out, I'm really looking forward to 2021, but won't forget the lessons of 2020. And thank you for this experience of working with you all this year.
Thank you, Heather. In fact, that's sort of what I wanted to dovetail off from. There's no way I could give the same overview that our town historian did. I mean, she, again, hit right on the nose. But from a supervisor's perspective of working with really a brand new board, with a lot of new and different ideas, and with all that has happened, I jotted down a few things like resilience, creative. It's been a real interesting learning process for all of us and working together with different and new personalities that I think that we have all managed to quite well come together to really reach and achieve many of the goals that have been set in place really starting in January. So I want to give all of you a lot of credit in doing what you have done with what we've had in front of us that we've had to deal with. So I just wanted to share that with you. And also to finish up before we go on executive session. And again, a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone, and on the board and everyone, all the town officials, and of course, all the residents in the town of Manlius and the 3 villages. So thank you very much. And with that, we need a motion to go into executive session.
Ed, before we go into executive session, I wanted to thank you and to thank all of our colleagues. Those were very kind words, Ed, and I really appreciated it, what you just shared with us. And it's really been, we all kind of came into this. I think none of us knew what to expect. So I appreciate all the patience that everyone has had for me, and I'll speak for some of the new folks, if they don't mind my doing so, that we've learned a lot from you. And while we don't always agree, I do think that we've all worked extremely well together, and I've really appreciated this, even in the hard times, that we could all come together and get the work done for the town. So thank you.
Thank you. And
your
we'll continue to do so. Thank you, Caitlin. So
I can make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the litigation issue.
okay.
Very good.
I'll second.
Second,
Can I
Don?
have a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And Allison, you just want to explain, I guess we just will go up and then come back, right?
Yeah, we're gonna mute our sound and our video, and then after executive session, we'll come back out.
Allison, patiently waiting. Okay,
How long was that, Allison? 15 minutes?
I don't know.
I think it was just about 20 minutes.
About 15?
Yeah, that was
Well,
about
you went out at 7:20, so.
a little more than 15. All right.
Longer, okay, well. All right,
Yeah, that was almost a half an hour.
Karen's coming back.
Sorry.
Okay.
Waiting for Karen. There's Karen.
We're
Good.
still ending at 10 of, so.
All right. Okay, so if we don't have anything else to discuss tonight, we can have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Bye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye. We'll see you
Bye.
next year.
Bye now.
See you next year.
Yes.